everyone. Thank you for joining in to Transition Talk today. I'm here with my co-host, Pamela, and we have our special guest today. We actually have two special guests with us. We have Jeff, who is an IDLM graduate, and we have David, who is already a part of our IDLM community. He has taken our life planning doula class, and now he's currently in the end of life doula class. And so, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with us today. Jeff, why don't you share a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Jeff Schnoor, and I am an end-of-life doula, and I've been doing it for almost a year now. It's been an incredible experience because, I was in one of the very first classes through your program and almost took off running once I completed it. Started putting out flyers and notifications at VFWs, Foreign Legions, going out to some of the respite homes and stuff within the area and trying to really see if my services would be needed. I currently have an office here on the south side of San Antonio. So I even also went to the churches and tried to leave some cards and some flyers and stuff like that. I got at the very beginning, because it was during COVID, I was getting quite a few phone calls to come out and provide the services. At that, I had the COVID booster, so it wasn't a big fear of mine. And the fact that I was able to spend, out of the 5 cases I had, 4 of them were veterans. So I was able to spend time with hearing their stories, helping them transition into, what life was going to be without them, and to also explain to the family what was to be expected or what to initially prepare for. So it's been an outstanding thing to do because, to be with somebody as they're moving on and transitioning from life, it's an incredible experience to have when you're there. Somebody's suffering from mental or medical, both of them typically, and trying to help them understand the experience, help them to understand that their family loves and cares deeply for them, and how to, to come together with that, share that experience with their family to help when the time does come of passing, that they're prepared for that. And the anticipation is that they understand that you loved, you cared, any feelings of, not, feeling complete or things not being completed have been fulfilled. And that's one of the biggest things as an end-of-life doula. I feel that's a big thing is that we don't want to leave this world feeling that we've left without completing things or without having our family and them to understand that we're leaving the world, and we love and deeply care for them as we move on and transition on. And it leaves a lot of open space in families. So that's been one of my biggest things as an end-of-life doula, is to have the patient or the client come to that understanding and realism, and then being there as they go through the suffering, the pain, loss of memory. I mean, all different types of things, ending their lives due to medical conditions and such. So it's been an incredible experience. It's one of the biggest jobs that I love. On the back of my wall, actually, I hang my doula certificate from graduation higher than my own degrees, because I think it's such an important thing to help individuals. I know in the military, I didn't get the opportunity to be there with a lot of my military friends when they were killed in action or things happened to them. So it's a way of giving back as well. To be a part of it, to just experience it with my fellow brothers and sisters in arms. So I'd have to say that's probably the greatest experience I could ever have.
Wonderful. Well, we're happy to have you here with us today too. Thank you so much, Jeff. And David, share us a little bit about you and what drew you here to end-of-life doula work.
My name's David Lindblad. I'm born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. Have been there my whole life. I think the main thing that drew me in at first was dealing with the concept of death, accepting mortality and how to plan for that. Yeah, I mean, to be able to pass out of the world and have the people behind you that remember you with the least amount of strain and stress and concern, to be able to have everything. I mean, there's no smooth death, I don't suppose, but just to make it easier on them would be a goal of mine. I have to thank Pam for promoting a lot of the interest, because she knew me for quite a while, and realized I was not really prepared. So I'm working on that aspect of myself, and hope to be able to spread that on to other people, because I think you don't know where you're going to go. You don't know what the end's going to be. You don't know what's out there. Houdini said he was going to come back and let everyone know, and he never made it back. So, you know, the only ones that are really feel anything are the ones that are going to be left. So I think preparing them, and together with the person that's dying, come to the acceptance and be able to deal with that is I think the biggest aspect. I'm not sure when my career is really going to kick off. I'm currently a caretaker for my sister, who has senile dementia, and has for the past 4 or 5 years. It's a long, stressful journey. I had my mother prior to that, who was a cancer patient. So I've been doing a little caretaking for longer than I care to remember. But so there's going to be a time when I need to move to a different thought process, a different workload, and share what I've learned here. I think
Yeah, you'll be ready to do that, because you've already taken Pam's life planning class, and so you'll have all the tools behind you. You know, there are so many different important aspects, I think, especially within the doula world. It's actually one of the quite often questions that I do get when I do have potential male students looking at the program is, am I going to find anything? Can I do this? And it's absolutely, yes, you can. You are really, really needed out there. Mm-hmm. You are really needed. I've had this happen. Pam has also had this happen. We get asked, hey, do you have a male that, that can come and be our doula? And I was actually working with a client, and he wanted a male because he had a younger son, but he wanted someone that wasn't as young as his son, but another male that he could talk to more sacredly with. And so we need males more part of our doula work. Mm-hmm. Because also too with traditions, we have some of our religion traditions that if you're a female, you have to be with a female. If it's a male, mm-hmm. Especially within the Jewish faith. I want to say it's also the Muslim. So there's multiple faiths as well that need to have same sex to as a transition and to be a part of that. The carry can only be done by that. So it is definitely something very important. Jeff is also, I'd like to point out too, Jeff has a wonderful organization here in San Antonio. Jeff, would you mind sharing a little bit about Spirit Wolf? Don't make me correct if I don't correct this right, but Spirit Wolf Therapeutic Therapy?
No, it's a Spirit Wolf Therapeutic Intervention and Ministry. And we're located, again, on the south side of San Antonio, Texas. And what we do is we work with individuals that are homeless, suffering from addiction. And that was that was the fifth client, was a homeless individual that was suffering from, you know, cancer, as well as had drank their kidney to the last extension of earth. And, you know, I was able to bring the individual into a temporary shelter that I operate. And I actually was with him when he passed away. And that was actually a very endearing thing, because, you know, to feel that you're going to be out in the streets, homeless with no family, nothing there to be supportive and caring for you, is such a horrible experience when doctors have given you your, what I hate to say is an expiration date, but your month,
That's
your,
basic.
your time. But you know, in the military, we've kind of gotten to calling it that, unfortunately. But it's such an incredible thing to reach out to individuals that are hurting and suffering, and that's what I do. That's what I do on a day-to-day basis, is work with individuals that are suffering from alcoholism, homelessness, drug addiction, and those that are suffering both mentally, physically. So it's an incredible experience every day to wake up and know that this is the clients, or this is the individuals that I'm going to be working with. And, you know, I teach class in a couple of programs and stuff, and it's an incredible experience to share that with individuals, because they're like, well, wow. And they come and volunteer, or they try to be a part of the movement. And we go out every night looking for people on the streets that are suffering and in pain, and try to find some type of resources within our community or other communities that can help. So, you know, it's just an incredible thing to start it up. And then one of the first things I quickly added to my program was a doula service. So it had to be there. I had a feeling and such, because it's like what you mentioned earlier. I was one of those students who contacted you at first to ask, I mean, are there males in this field? Am I able to be in this field? You know, I have a history. Am I able to be here? And I mean, I'm also an individual that spent time in the military, suffered from PTSD, things like that. But one thing I've noticed and felt out of this, I've not had any issues when I work with the clients.
Yeah.
It's actually been a
Therapy for you.
weightlifting off my shoulders, and mentally and everything else, because I put things off on the side. And I mean, here I'm dealing with cancer. A couple months back in May, I flipped a truck 12 times, and, you know, with a heart attack, and was pinned under the vehicle. Shouldn't be here today. But I mean, it's just an incredible, because I feel that, you know, I'm a Christian, also a Buddhist, but there's some higher power or something over for a mission I've yet to fulfill or to complete. And I awesomely just feel so much more appreciation to those who really need help and really need care. So thank you for asking about my organization.
That's awesome, Jeff. I didn't realize. I mean, Anna shared. I kind of went to the website and took a look, but hearing you talk about it, that is just absolutely awesome, and such a needed thing.
And it is. I mean, I grew up. If you saw on my website, it'll show where I grew up on the streets most of my life. I'm pretty well young age. So I mean, I've seen suffering and pain most of my life. And I've suffered through pain and things most of my life too. So it's an incredible lifting to just be with individuals that are suffering, hurting. You know, it's why I went and got my degree in counseling and mental health and things like that, because there's never going to be enough shortage of people to help people through grief, suffering, and pain.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. I think there's just so many, you know, there's just so many different aspects and areas that, you know, even tag teaming with, you know, other doulas too, and trying just to get out there and serve our communities, because that's what we're here for. We're here to serve our community and to help everyone to get through this, and to also prepare them, to do that journey. And I think that even if you just get out there and start with one, it only takes one to just really rock your world and to really give you that motivation to get out there and do it. And once you get going, you just don't stop. You just keep going. Just keep going.
It really was. Sorry to cut you off, but if it wasn't for right after my graduation, you, Anna, bringing me over there to your office, doing the paperwork and pushing the motivation and talking about that one client and everything else, it just pushed me more to really want it, the desire to do it, and everything else. And I mean, I can't be more appreciative for that it was your enthusiasm and fire that geared me when I was doing the end of life court classes to be there, not miss anything, and to constantly be pestering you with questions and trying to understand and making sure that I was doing it right. So I mean, I've never been able to fully say that, but I've been solely appreciative for everything that you've done to help make that, and me as a successful doula.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. Well, I'm so, it's just such a blessing to have you a part of IDLM. And yeah, because Jeff is usually my go-to guy that I usually, I'm like, Jeff,
Yeah.
help, because honestly, I will honestly say, I think between now and the end of the year, especially here in San Antonio, it's going to boom big time.
Yeah.
I'm already getting to a point where I just can't keep up with the demand. It's getting there. It's just getting to that point. And as the word spreads more and people are, realizing, and hospices start understanding what we do better and how we can work together, and
hospices are so strained. I mean, they are strained. There are not enough. There is not enough hospice centers to even service the demand. Anna, you and I both have heard of the tragic stories of people being told, we'll put you on a waiting list. How can you put a client on a waiting list? Because if they need to be in hospice, they need that service today, not
already on the list.
Down the road. Right. And to
short list.
Be able to have individuals trained that can go out. And as we always say, we work with hospice and we want the hospice centers there. But if we can lighten their load by being present when they just don't have the staff to be present.
And go ahead. And that's what I saw when I was in the hospital. I remember when I was for COVID, I was on a MICU unit. I had had to be resuscitated twice, and I was getting into trouble because I was wheeling into other people's rooms to be with them, and as they were screaming for help and everything else. And I mean, every time I would hear code blue, I'd watch them take individuals out and come back a few minutes later for their belongings.
Mm-hmm.
So it was such, I mean, there's the desire, even in hospice, is such an incredible, because I know here in San Antonio, we have well over 100, almost 200 hospice facilities. That's not considered just the regular businesses that go out and do home health. I mean, we're talking about retirement hospice facilities like that. And there's not that many doulas here in San Antonio. I hate to admit to that. So there has to be such an incredible need. And the waiting list, I mean, I think that waiting list is just a placekeeper, that you might never ever find somebody that's going to help and do with the transition or help the family with understanding, because though hospice, nursing and social work and things like that are incredible things to have, it's still, there's too many clients, there's too many patients out there that need the service, and there's not enough time to individualize.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to connect and individualize with the individual, or there's no connection, and you're just pretty much doing it as a robot or non-sensitivity or anything else that really the client or patient need or require.
Mhm.
In the class last night, it was mentioned the fact how COVID had really cut down on the number of volunteers
Mhm.
now for hospice and other services. And that's created even a bigger need.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and some of them are slowly getting back, but they still have a lot of restrictions in many areas. And, you know, and David, too, with you being out in Florida, there is a huge need in Florida,
Mhm.
a very big need, because, you
Where
know,
everyone comes to die.
retirement area, you know,
Everybody goes there to be snowbirds go there to be sunbirds.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
Big sponsors.
yeah. So you'll have your work cut out, but the good thing is we have quite a bit of graduates and current students in the Florida area. So
I see.
I cannot wait. I really want to plan out a trip for next year to go down and do some things with y'all in Florida, because I want to say at least we have at least 50 or plus out there in Florida. So, you know,
Go to Disney World.
yeah.
Well, Disney World was not on the agenda of what we talked about. We did talk about visiting with the Neptune Society.
Yes.
That sounds good.
The
That would
Neptune
be
Society.
better.
We
Yes.
might could do some deep sea diving.
Yes. Well, you know, and we've had in our movement, we've had Mr. Jim from the Neptune Society come out of the reefs from Florida to come out and educate us here at IDLM as well.
Yes.
That was over a few months ago. We had him coming and visiting with us. So, you know, there's such a large need out there and it's just growing even more. So I really hope anybody that's listening today to this, please, you know, if you want to go on a discovery of this, you want to see what it might look like, you know, you want to reach out to Jeff or reach out to David and find out more, you know. And here at IDLM, we support you full-fledgedly. We're nonstop going. You know, we've got new programs coming out. We have new support groups coming out. It's just booming. And, you know, we're all here to help each other grow and to just really serve our community, into making sure that each and every person, when it becomes that time, that we can be there with them. Also, you know, I always have to remind everybody every time I meet somebody, well, I just don't work at the end of life. We need to get with you sooner than that.
Mhm.
We need to start advanced directives. We need to start doing your vigil planning. We need to get the funeral planning done. You know, there is so much work. You know, and so I am just so grateful and happy that we have David and Jeff here with us, and we have some more others within our community here. So, you know, if you need to go on a little bit of a discovery with that, please reach out to us. We are definitely here. Does anybody have any final things that they would like to share, final last words before we wrap up today?
I'm just grateful for having the males in our group. We need them. And we're so fortunate to have people like Jeff and like David and those that have recently joined our program. It's exciting because the need is vast and it's growing. Like you said, Anna, it's not going to be, what did I say? I read the statistics and I think it said by 2035 that the seniors were going to outnumber 15-year-olds. This is a kind of startling fact. And we're outnumbering those that can take care of us, because a lot of those, and I'll say in my generation, David, yours too, I'm sure, in our generation, we chose not to have children. And, you know, we chose careers, and that has left another void that people never thought about. So getting the planning done and having planning in place and having a doula, just like you have an insurance agent, that's what everybody needs. Everybody needs.
Yeah, I was fascinated by that concept that you're contacting them on a yearly basis. And I said, no, that sounds just like my insurance agent to call me and ask if there have been any changes. You know, do we need to add coverage?
We really
Yeah.
are part of a vital team in life, and
Sure.
people just
Well,
aren't aware yet of what we can bring to the table.
I was very impressed with Jeff and the work he's done with his veterans, and it makes me think quite a bit. Jacksonville's a huge Navy town. At one point, we had 3 naval bases. We're down to 2, but they're still one of the major air stations, and also I think we're the Atlantic Fleet base. So there's a huge military population that's probably underserved, like most every aspect of society, I think, but a lot
Yeah.
to be done.
Yep.
Yes. A lot of work.
A lot of work ahead.
And that's why it's important that more join and become part of the movement. More males, more females. I mean, I don't think there'll ever be enough individuals doing this work, but we definitely need males in this field, and it's an incredible experience. I think a lot of people find misgivings or misthoughts with death and individuals dying and helping them transition and prepare. But it is such an incredible experience that everybody, when they get into the field, without any doubts, within class 2 or 3, you've already learned that this is where you need to be or you want to be, and who you're helping and you're providing services for. So it's desperately imperative that people join this movement, they join this cause, get trained on how to do it and do it correctly without hurting each other or hurting themselves or even hurting the families or the loved ones. So I hope more will step up to this and call it a recruitment. We need you, so please come and be part of this movement.
Yes, we need
That
you.
was perfect, Jeff.
Yes, I think that's a perfect note to end on. And, we do, like I said, if you have questions or just want to explore this and you think this might be something for you, please reach out to us. We are more than happy to explore those possibilities with you. And thank you both, Jeff and David. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And thanks, Pam, for being here with me. And I'll see everybody next week on Transition Talk.
Bye-bye.